What's up, everybody? You know it's Electro Saturday today. Getting right into it. No time to lose. Can't afford to waste any of it. We got so many good submissions for our feedback session today with our special guest. Let's see, who was in the chat first today? We always do this. We go through. Luminous Cloud, I believe, was the first. Oh, yes, he was. And Aaron303. Yeah, I'm already tripping over myself. Aaron303, good day, Electro Freaks. That's right. Today is your day. David Bohr is here. Manuel Gloat is here. Stereo Decor is here. Lots of returning viewers. That's great. Dave Robinson, what's up? Here's a new one. Cat Munk. Welcome. Future World Machines is here. Thomas Dietz, Silver Knobs HMDT. Whoa, what time is it? Yeah, we're starting an hour early so we can get in as many submissions as we can. All right. Farning81's watching on Twitch. Functor. Jean-Paul Bondi. That's right. Hello, nerds. We got Justin Maxwell, Jay Druckman, A May. Did I say Functor already? I can't remember. I just like to say Functor. Truthmaker, Berlin Neukölln. Itzy's here. Person Aliene. Bass Kittens. Bass Kittens is here. What's up? And Aaron Hedges. Now that is a name that I know from way back too. Trovarsi. That's it. Let's get into it. Welcome to Selway's sometimes techno, sometimes electro Saturdays. Today is Electro Saturday. I am psyched. I've been warming up to this, getting ready for this for a while. I've been talking about it. I've been teasing it. I've been posting about it. And today is the day. We're doing a feedback session, another electro feedback session with none other than Carl Finlow. I'll bring him on in a second. He's here. He's waiting in the wings. We got all these great submissions on the Discord, the 343 Labs Discord. You know about 343 Labs, right? We're a music production school. We got a location in New York City, where I am. We got a location in Berlin, where some of you are actually. And we are online. We are global. We have a global student base and community. And community is a big part of what we do. We have our Discord. We do these events. We do these feedback sessions. We do sample challenges sometimes online. And we like to share what we do. We teach music production. I do synthesis and some sound design. We do mixing and mastering. You can learn about music theory and songwriting, composition and arranging. And we're here for you at 343 Labs. If you want to know more about our courses, what's coming up, check out the links below in the description. And join our Discord. It's always a thing. Did the Discord invite link expire? Hopefully it still works. Thomas, if you're watching, make sure that link is updated, please. Just so we know that if you want to join the Discord. Because if you ever want to submit for future feedback sessions, that's where you're going to do it. I have a Selway feedback channel on the 343 Labs Discord. So that's what we do. And, subscribe. All of the good stuff I'm supposed to remind you to do if you are watching us regularly here on YouTube and anywhere else we're streaming. And I don't know, that's enough due diligence. Let's get into it. Let's not waste any more time. Let's bring in our guest today. Welcome. Big warm welcome, everybody, to a master of electro music. It's Carl Finlow. What's up, Carl?
Hey, John. Hey, everybody. How are you doing?
So good. I'm happy that you're back. You've been on the show before. You've always been a really good sport about doing all the technical setup and figuring out what the show's going to be about. You really give your all. And I think we hear that in your music too. Your output is amazing and your attention to detail and your consistent, quality, right? I think you're someone that is well seated to give a trustworthy opinion on these music submissions we have today.
Yeah, I'll try my best. I think a lot of people know I'm quite an anomaly in many ways in the fact that I don't actually listen to a lot of music. So I'm looking forward to hearing this today because I really don't get a chance to listen to new music at all. So I'm hopefully going to learn a lot today, and hopefully I can give a lot back on what I hear. So
I know you will.
Let's get to it.
I know you know what you're doing, and I mean, I think you've mentioned this before. I know I said we were going to do too much chit chat, but I just want to ask you this question, in terms of sort of production, music creation wisdom. Like, what is your sort of feeling or your reasoning behind not listening to too much music very often?
It's simply because I've just got so much music in my head that I want to make. I just feel I need to put all my time into getting it done.
That's fair. Like, who needs to listen to anything else? It's all here.
It's just a burning desire to get it all out. There's Amazing. So much of it in my head. That's all I do. That's all I've ever done, and that's
Fair enough.
I'm going to continue to do.
That's a good enough reason. I mean, and for my part, I mean, I do go out of my way every now and then to listen to music. I've been a DJ, and you have to like kind of study music to be a DJ, right? But like,
sure.
I do go through periods where I don't listen to stuff. It's kind of like clearing your head a little bit and letting your imagination fill in the blanks, which is probably sort of where you're at.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, there is a little bit of music I listen to, but that's just in the car journey on the way to school and back.
Sure.
Every day I have the radio, and we have a good alternative radio station here in the south of France in Toulon.
Nice. Okay.
You never know what you're going to hear. It'll 1 minute it'll be Drexciya, next minute it'll be some reggae, then it'll be some weird French stuff. So it's all over the place. But in terms of like electro and techno and things, I just never listen to anything new, really.
Totally got you. All right, enough about you. The rest of the day, is about these submissions. So let's get started. All right, we're starting with earlier submissions, and we'll work our way through. Hopefully, we'll make it through most of these. And I'm actually starting with, so far back, there was an Electro post on the feedback channel that was even like right before I announced that this was happening, but I thought it was pretty good, so I threw it in the mix. And let's check this out. All right, so our first submission here is from an artist called Floorbit Crusher. And it looks like, I'm assuming the title of this is like a working title probably, but you never know. Electromodular Demin Return X3.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty electro-y to me. All right.
Sure does.
Let's hear.
Off to a good start.
Yeah.
I like the name too, Floorbit Crusher.
Are we already having a technical problem? There it is. I was like, why didn't it start? Sparse beginning. There it is.
Nice so far.
I like this.
Very nice.
Bubbly bass.
Gentle, it's controlled.
Subtle little changes on that snare drum are nice. It's like, I think you hear it, right? Like sometimes it's like a longer decay or release or something.
Yeah.
Is that a snare or a clap?
It's a bit of both.
It's white noise, but those pads like way in the background, they're distant. Oh, nice dynamics, right? It's like sneaking in.
Yeah, it's a nice balance of sounds, like the reverbs.
I'm going to ask all the viewers, let us know how the volume of the music is. We'll try to get it balanced for us and for you. I'm just going to turn it up a tad. That's all right. Is that good for you?
That's good for me.
All right.
Yeah, I'm lost in this one. It's nice the interplay between the high and the low sequence. Very sort of 101 sound.
Yeah. I wonder if that's, did they sequence that manually, or is that some kind of generative evolving pattern? It's kind of hard to follow.
Yeah, it's like with the 101, when you program the roll and stuff, and you put in pauses in the sequence, and then you're triggering it from one of the drum machines. You get
old
you
trick.
get the patterns stepping all over the place.
I'm sure you do that.
Sure.
I'm gonna jump forward just a little bit. See what happens in this moment of drama in the middle. Nice little melody on top.
Yeah, it's a nice atmosphere.
Reminds me of some early Boards of Canada vibe. Nice.
Yeah, I like. It's not in a hurry to do anything either. It's just nice at what it's doing, and it's
easy going.
Yeah.
And there's, you know, like bass and melody, while there's rhythmic evolution, it's still repetitive mainly, right? And then, but there's just enough playing around with the effects and percussion and a little bit of automation that keeps it interesting, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just machine music, isn't it? The machines are playing themselves in some way there.
Right.
Which is what a lot of this is about, you know?
I mean, it is called Electro after all.
Yep.
And I feel like this has a slight, like, early 90s warp artificial intelligence vibe going on as well. That's always worked well together. There's always been electro in that world, and vice versa. Yeah, there's a lot of nice subtlety going on in here too. Like, I'm hearing, every now and then I'll hear a note that I didn't hear before, and I'm like, oh, nice.
Yeah,
now,
like nice.
This artist has commented on their SoundCloud page that the bass is too loud. It's a bad habit of mine. Huh. So I'm trying to think now, like, as nice as this track is, let's think about if this is in progress, if it's not finished yet, what could be improved? Like, do you hear anything?
I like the bass the way it is there.
Oh, all right.
That the bass and that higher 101 type thing, I think the interplay between those two things is nice. For me, the only thing I'd maybe do something with is this string pad that's going off there.
The kind of droning pad in the background?
Yeah. I'd maybe add some more interest to that, and maybe more filters, more stereo dynamics, something
interesting.
Get it moving around a bit more. It was a bit flat for me, that sound.
Okay, so sound design wise, sort of, or this pad in here, for example, it could be doing more.
Yeah.
A bit more dramatic swell.
It is kind of just sat there. It's a nice sound, but be a bit more interesting if it was doing something maybe more stereo, maybe a bit more filtering. Not drastic,
right? Just
a little bit more.
Okay, now that's a good observation. And another way to look at that, I was thinking, is, okay, this is hypnotic, repetitive patterns. But what if there were a variation on that chord occasionally? You know what I mean? Like, it's just those
lower,
same, anything. It could be an inversion, like it doesn't even have to be a different, find a way to create a little bit more movement with the notes even. And that could help as well.
Maybe an odd fill here and there with the snare drum.
Sure. Just like the snare is there's a little bit, but like, and most of the variation on the snare sound is like playing with the decay or the envelope, right? It's longer, shorter. But yes, a little bit of rhythmic variation, I think, would do. That said, like these are niggling details. In general, This is a really nice track.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that track. It was nice.
It remains to be seen whether the bass is too loud. You'd really need to hear this on a big, heavy system to know if the bass is covering everything up. In the headphones, it sounded pretty good.
Yeah, it sounded good to me. Good level for me.
All right, so nice one. Good work, Floor Bit Crusher. Hopefully you're here. since was a very early submission,
Right.
and I'm going to reply to this person on the channels and let them know that we covered their track today. Nice. All right. So who's next? Kenny Toen or Tun KT Hilbert's Place is what we're looking at right now.
Hilbert's Place. It's almost there's a thing called Hilbert Space. Maybe it's a play on words there. I'm not sure.
Quite a bit brighter, this one, compared to the last.
Yeah, it's a bit more uppy.
So I think, like, energy-wise, it's good. Like, right away it gets into it, which I think makes sense.
I was just listening to the overall tone of things.
Yeah.
It sounds like the whole thing has gone through something. So it's quite squashed.
Right.
Thick, slightly overdriven overall, like on the master bus.
Could be. I'm going to
like
try
tape, like tape almost, you know.
I'm going to try to focus a little bit on the kind of the music before I think about mix issues. I like this part. It's an interesting harmony.
Yeah, I agree.
Right there. Do you hear it?
Yep.
There's that one different chord that stands out. That's I don't
there's a
often
little
hear
bit
that.
that whizzes off.
Nice variation here. All right. No need. I mean, this is a short track. I was going to say the arrangement gets right into it quickly,
minutes,
which is good because it's only 3 minutes something, right? 3 minutes 40 something.
Yep.
Nice little tweaking of the lead synth there.
It's got lots of nice elements.
Yeah, there's some, like, the chord progression is slightly more sophisticated than your typical diminished, dark electro kind of vibes, you know? I almost want to say, like, I mean, it's not old school sounding exactly, but think of like an old Paul Hardcastle track, you know, that has a jazzy chord progression. It has just like a little drop of that, maybe.
Sure. Yeah, I agree.
Nice.
Yeah, we're nearly at the end. That really went by quickly.
Yeah, this is good. Short tracks are good for this session.
We've got a lot to get through.
I'm curious to hear how he ends it.
Looks like a fade out to me.
Oh no, that's actually a good ending. Like it's like a decisive, even though there's a fade, he like made a decisive mood. Cool. All right.
Yeah.
So let's think about. All right, and we already kind of hinted at it. Like the overall sound of this, there's something I think that maybe needs to be. It needs a different balance, perhaps.
Well, it sounds like they've purposely gone for a kind of tape saturation feel. It's quite thick, the whole thing.
But it's also really sharp. There's some
it didn't
very
didn't
bright
sound
frequency.
too sharp on my end.
Maybe it's our different headphones. I'm not using my
possibly.
best headphones right now either, so I should, maybe
there you
we
go,
could
you
take
see.
my comments with a grain of salt. But I feel like there's some. I wouldn't mind if it sounded more warm, and you're right, less compressed, and a little more open.
I think there's a little bit too much weight on the kick. I think that's kind of forcing everything else out of the what's the word? The kick's overpowering it a little bit for me. It's just there's a bit too much sort of extreme sort of sub end on it.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
I also I all of the percussion is in the middle, which is not wrong, but those high frequency percussion, it would be nice if they were spread out a little bit more. That would help the mix balance and make it sound fuller and more open without like changing too much, right?
Well, I never pan any drums. They're all dead center.
I get so like, I mean, that's interesting because I go so into like balancing my stereo mix and getting really into those details and and then there's the challenge of making a mix that translates in mono, but also sounds wide, and so I'm always fighting with that. And I tend to not use like tricks like stereo widening tricks on the whole mix. I would never do that.
Yeah,
maybe on one element that I thought needed it.
If you go into vinyl, it can get a bit tricky doing stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
no. So there is a reason to keep things mono, for like the vibe of it or the aesthetic of it, or for many different reasons. Cool. Anyway, musically, I really like this track.
Yeah,
I think
it's a nice musical vibe.
Whatever the details are, like I wouldn't another pass at like improving the mix down of this, I think would be really good. Otherwise, I think it's musically it's done. It's a set, solid piece of music.
Track.
Cool. All right.
Agreed.
Let's see who is next. All right, we have a Spotify. So this is someone's released track, and this is. All right, I don't know if this is something you can pronounce. How would you pronounce this? Basket weave.
Oh yeah, basket weave. There you go. You got it.
Nice. All right. I think we figured it out. So, and if I remember correctly, this first track is the one that was submitted. Let's check it out. It's a bit louder, isn't it?
Yeah.
Although it's loud, it's hard to get the balance right for us and for the stream. I think a couple of people in watching were hoping the music could be a little bit louder. So,
okay.
Would it work for you to turn just your headphones down a little bit so we can crank it up a little bit?
Me,
can you
sure.
Yeah. Can you still hear me talk when
yeah.
Louder? Okay,
I'll turn my headphones down. Yeah, turn it up, mate.
All right. So
chaotic jazzy start here.
Yeah, no, I hesitated about including this because I wanted to have the conversation of, is it electro? Yes, I think leans towards yes, right? But at first, at the beginning, I was like, I wasn't sure, but I think it fits.
Yeah, I'd say this was electro.
And electro and breaks totally go together.
Yeah, like I say, it's quite jazzy. It's kind of jazz chords, jazz drums. Quite Aphex Twin in a way.
I would say, yeah, it's definitely a hybrid of styles.
Yeah, it's a mix-up of styles, isn't it? Somebody trying something a bit different. Basket weave, good name. Yeah.
A little bit of clever playing around with, what do they call that? There's a name for when you use numbers and letters combined. It's like an old school internet hacker thing.
Okay.
And this is another short track. I'll just let it play. So the mix is good. Sounds balanced.
Yeah,
everything's punchy,
I was going to say the
shiny.
balance is pretty good, isn't it?
Luminous Cloud reminded me it's Leet Speak is what it's called.
Leet Speak. That's a new one for me.
Yeah.
Okay. Leet speak. I'm not with it with all these kids, you know, the kids speak.
You're not a hacker, or not pretending to be.
No.
So,
yeah, I'm into this.
Nice vibes.
Yeah.
Short and sweet. I feel like maybe now, if I remember from this person's post that they're pretty new, and still figuring stuff out. Obviously they felt strongly enough about this to actually put it out there publicly, right? And I think
they've purposely said they're new to this.
If I recall correctly, forgive me because there's a lot of posts that I read.
Sure.
Forgive me if I don't remember, but I think it's good that it's short because I felt like it could have a little bit more depth in terms of variation. I don't know what it is. I like the vibe, I like the rhythm, I like the energy, but the bass line is sort of relentless.
Yeah, there's no dynamic in it. It starts the way it ends. Really, there's no ups or downs to it. It's just the things doing their thing, really.
Yeah, and that's not bad. If you just look at it as a sketch, as a little moment in time of a vibe, and if a DJ were to play this, they'd incorporate it in at the right moment and mix in and out of it, and it would be part of a bigger thing.
Yeah.
But also, it is good to have a little bit of a story to tell, a little bit of some kind of variation.
Yeah, I think
you're
right about that sound being You're right about that same sound being quite relentless as well. It would be nice if that had a little bit more of a break.
Right. So I think that's what I would work on. I mean, okay, this is on Spotify. It's out there.
I enjoyed it. Yeah.
No, and I haven't. I'm going to check out the other tracks from this artist. Basket Weave. Nice one. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Let's move along to Future World Machines, regular viewer. Transmit all frequencies.
All right. This sounds 400% electro with a title like that.
And it sounds 400% electro.
It does. Straight away. Where are they from? Do you know? You know where they're from?
Do I know where they're from? Future World Machines, where are you from? Future World Machines, I believe, is in the chat.
I see a picture of a Roland boutique over there. So I'm assuming that's one of their weapons of choice.
I mean, these are nice time-honored tropes we're hearing. This is classic electro vibe. It is solid, right?
Yeah.
It's got the energy, it's got the groove, it's got the right sounds. I'm getting all the frequencies, apparently.
Yeah, transmit all frequencies. I'm definitely getting all the frequencies here.
That's right.
It's very mono, though. I will say that. I'm not getting
except for the really wide stereo delay on the sound effects, but everything else is very mono. You're right, but that could be a deliberate choice, right?
Sure.
When you have a bunch of stuff mono, and then you have one thing that's super stereo, it really stands out.
Mono drums, mono synths. I mean, it's often the special effects that stand out.
I'm still working out the volume situation here because the music.
I'm fine here. You do what you want. It's
okay. I'm trying to hear you actually.
Oh, okay. Am I too low?
No. I think it's my side, I think. Old school breakdown.
Yeah, it's nice. I'll drop away. Somebody brave enough to do a vocoder as well.
All right. Let's see where we are here. I'm going to just jump in a little bit. Let's hear how it ends. Fade.
Yeah, I'm trying to work out if it was a live thing done with, a bunch of Roland Boutique synths, or whether it was arranged. It's hard to tell.
Well,
I would have liked. It's nice overall. I would have liked to have heard a bit more action with the drums. The drums just seem to sit there. Although the sounds are good, a few fills here and there wouldn't have.
So fills. All right. I was thinking. What was I thinking? That. And this is the thing with vocoders. I mean, we can understand it's intelligible, right? It's you can hear the articulation, but it's really thin.
Yeah, it could have been driven more, or something a bit more weight to it.
I think, yeah. And with vocoders, it's tricky. You want to go in with a full frequency sound, and then because you're going through a bunch of filters, the vocoder is always taking away from the sound the carrier. So
it's very hard to get it right, a vocoder.
And then, we've had this discussion with Anthony Rothler, who is here today. Thanks for stopping by, Anthony.
Hey, Anthony.
Very nice. So, he chimed in, great space feeling on this track, and I would agree.
Yeah.
We like the vibe. Yeah. If I were to, say anything, all right, the variations on the drums, maybe a little bit more low end in general on some of the sounds, just to make it a little thicker, warmer on the bottom ends, and then
a little bit tame the drums. Definitely give the drums a bit of a slap.
Yeah, and then how would you do that? Like, what do you generally do to pump your drums up a little?
I've got a really nice plugin I've been using called P42 Climax by Pulsar Modular.
I have never heard of that.
It's just blown my mind. It's like the best thing I've ever used. It's expensive for one plugin. It's like €250 or something.
Oh, geez.
But I bit the bullet and went for it. It's just amazing.
Okay.
It sounds like pushing it through some really, really nice valve gear. You can drive it really, really hard, and it still just sounds fantastic.
Nice.
It's got controls for extreme high end and low end as well. Just putting anything through it and starting to drive it just takes it into a whole new realm.
What was it called again?
It's called P42 Climax by Pulsar Modular.
P42 Climax. All right.
Yep.
Interesting. Sounds like an electro
if not
artist.
that, I've got a little Boss BX8 mixer here, and all my external stuff goes through that. Really, you can just drive the channels and get some more oomph to whatever's going through it.
That's good. Everybody in the chat's writing that down now, right? Okay. I'm good.
The mixer was about 4 times cheaper than the plugin.
Well, I used to
own
one of those.
$80 or something,
Every now and then I remember, I wouldn't mind having one of those old BX mixers again. And I look on eBay or something machine. Or Reverb, and one of these days I'm going to grab one when I see it.
It's a total sleeper. You can still get them for next to nothing, and it just sounds amazing. I know the guys from Morphology have them, and they're experts at building their own machines and wiring everything, and it's an 8-channel mixer, but they've taken every input and given it an output on the back, so instead of just being like a stereo out. Anyway,
it's that's great. You're a fountain of information. Let's move on to the next one. Corporate Robotics by Silver Knobs. Handmade Detroit Techno that's what the HMDT stands for. But I believe this is a bit more of it's techno / electro, I believe, right. And pretty sure Silver Knobs mainly uses hardware. Let's check this out. There we go.
Yeah, it's very quiet here.
All right, we got a steady kick drum this time.
Yeah, 4 on the floor.
Which is totally fine. Electro can have a 4 on the floor, right?
Absolutely.
And then you might wonder, like, what's the difference between that and techno then?
I'm not getting into that.
But, you know, techno and electro are like in the same family as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
It's going to be subtleties.
You say they use it's all hardware, did you say?
I think so.
It's hard to tell these days.
Right, the plugins are so good at sounding like hardware, and a lot of the hardware is so good at sounding like plugins.
Yeah.
Because if they're using digital equipment, it is basically a computer making the sound.
Yeah. Use whatever you want, though. You know, whatever gets the music done, it doesn't matter.
Absolutely. So this is quite a long track. We're not going to go through the whole all 9 minutes of it.
9:50.
So let's jump in.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a long builder. Nice percussion. Nice sequence chords there.
The kind of dissonant harmony happening there.
Yeah, it's nice. Lots of stereo.
Yeah, very wide. That would have me hitting the mono button on my monitors and like checking to make sure that there's no cancellation. But I don't think I think it's just left-right panning. It's not like phase.
Yeah, it's a big
stuff.
delay. It's a big delay.
So I'm going to say, like, I like this track. That's different. I like this track, but it's borderline whether we're still electro with this one. It's so close.
Yep.
And I mean, honestly, that's another reason why I included it. It's because it's something to talk about.
Yeah, it is leaning more on the techno.
This is a bit ravey now, right?
Yeah,
with that chord stab.
With the stab.
I hope I didn't pick the wrong track, because like Silver Knobs has posted a lot of tracks
okay.
in the channel. So sorry if I picked the wrong one, but it's still part of the conversation, right? There's a lot of, I like that there's a lot of evolution in this, which makes sense.
Yeah, there's a lot of movement.
There's a lot of time to make the changes, right?
Yeah. You can pick any sound and it's doing its own thing. Apart from the bass and the main drums, which are just rock solid all the way through, not moving.
Yeah. And I would say, like, there's so I'm going to stop there because talking more about this distinction between techno and electro, like, I think it's the groove. It doesn't matter. I mean, sometimes it matters what the sounds are. Like, depends on what your aesthetic is, like what your vibe is. If you're trying to sound like more Kraftwerk inspired electro, there are certain sounds that work. Yeah. Or like, Drexciya, Doppler effect, Detroit electro have certain sounds that give it that vibe, right? All of these sounds could work as electro, but the groove is this rolling, right? So that's what makes it less, if you were to replace the drums with
a straight up electro beat,
then it would
be a different animal.
Yeah, it'd be complete. In this case, it's like the bass groove and the kick drum mainly that's making it more techno-y. But it still, that said, has a futuristic, spacey electro vibe to it.
Yeah, definitely.
Whether you call it electro or not is up to the beholder, right? It's in the eye of the beholder, the ear of the listener. That just went in the wrong direction. Okay. Thank you, Silver Knobs. Let me know if I picked the wrong track. Hopefully, we'll just move on from there. It's a really cool track in any case, whatever we call it.
Yeah, nice
and as far as constructive criticism, before I let you go, it's a bit too long, I think. Like,
9.5 minutes is
9.5 minutes is it's like a live jam, right? But you could go in. This is a candidate. I don't know if you multi-tracked this or if you went straight to a stereo recording. If you went straight to a stereo recording, it would be a good experience if you don't do this already to go through and like make an edit of this. Like, how can you compress this down to like 5 minutes and have it be more kind of comprehensive and together, right? Take the best parts and change the structure to work within 5 minutes. That would be a good exercise.
Yeah, be brutal as well. You know,
Oh, yeah, be
some
hard
of
on
my
yourself.
tracks, when I've ended up with an arrangement that's maybe 8.5 minutes long, you have to be brutal and just go in with scissors and don't be afraid to chop out big chunks. Sit back and take a sort of fresh look at it.
If you really don't want to like lose those parts, make 2 versions. Take the stuff you edited out and make another version of it with those, and then you've got both, and you can decide which one's
with an
better.
electro beat underneath.
Exactly. All right. Thanks very much. Let's move on to Personne Alienée.
Bass Inquisition.
Bass Inquisition.
Personne Alienée. I think it's French.
I mean, those are French words.
Yeah, alienated person.
There's some noise in the background. It almost sounds like crackly. It's not like water, but you know what I mean? It's like this random noise moving in the background. Like my fingers are wiggling. Please stop wiggling fingers. I like that. Bang.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, great.
I definitely, lately, really like faster electro. There was a question in the chat earlier about the BPM range of electro, and I'd say it's pretty wide. You can do slow, you can do super fast.
I've got a new album coming out on Cultivated Electronics, and it's pretty much all 140.
Yeah. 140 is almost like average right now.
Is it?
And then sometimes this is a little faster, I think. This sounds like 150s. I like fast electro. And when it starts to approach that, like getting into the halftime kind of thing.
Yeah, this is heading that way to me. You could easily deal with this as a kind of halftime thing. But it's nice. I like it. It's very sci-fi, very robotic.
Very sci-fi, yeah. I mean, if that's all it takes to be electro, it's definitely electro.
There's arcade noises in there. It's great. I like it.
Yeah, that buzzy, sawtoothy sound. It's very like Robotron-esque.
Yeah.
Which that's for me is the most electro thing ever. It's those
Robotron.
kinds of video game sounds and that game. And like Defender. My gosh.
No, this is good. It's got nice kind of nice attitude to it.
Attitude,
nice,
definitely.
I like all the sounds so far.
Simple Sam in the chat says nobody expects the Bass Inquisition. How many of the people watching this are familiar with what we're referring to?
I've had my son saying it all week. He's just been through a Monty Python phase, and he just keeps saying nobody expects this every 5 minutes.
So far, so good with this track.
Yeah, I like this. I like this a lot.
Well put together.
This is probably my favorite one so far today.
Right? Carl Finlow, seal of approval. Bang.
Yeah, this is great.
Nice call and response. I mean, that's another big one for anyone who's just getting into making music like this.
New sounds coming in all the time.
Sounds talking to each other, back and forth. Huge thing.
Adds a whole different layer of dynamics when you do that.
Right.
Because you anticipate as well. You hear something new, and you know there's going to be something responding to it a while later. I like that. Yeah, it's wicked, this.
Nice. I don't want to stop it.
There's great noises. Spot effects are really nice.
Yeah, I would say Personne Alienée knows what he's doing and didn't pull any punches. I'm struggling to think of anything critical. Maybe, I'll say this. Maybe give us a break once. It's really intense the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And okay, you could
I'd
say,
agree there.
Say that again?
I'd agree there, yeah. It is great, but a little respite here in the middle somewhere would be nice.
Like that low note, that does that ever go away?
Because it's got all, I mean, even if you just took all the drums away and just let all the sounds do their thing just for 8, that'd work really well.
Some kind of contrast. Like this part at the end should have happened earlier.
Yeah, this could have happened in the middle somewhere as
where
well.
It's just drums and a couple of noises and the main bass has gone away. And then it comes back. But you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. But that's great. That's a great track.
I'm just dropping in just to see if there more of this.
Yeah.
Where it's, I think mainly the one element I felt like that was in there the most that
the big wah.
Yeah, the droning bass note that almost never stops. Like if you had taken that out a little bit longer earlier in the track, might have been just enough contrast to deal with what we're feeling.
It is the bass inquisition, though. You know, if that
that's
goes away,
right.
Then no one being inquisitive.
Bass Kitten says our chief weapon is surprise, and an 808. Nice. I love it. Cool. Very good track.
Yeah,
thanks, Person Aliene. We've heard from you before. We know you're doing great stuff. So glad that you're taking part today. Let's move on to oh my. Is this Demon Seed by? Okay, someone help me pronounce this. Dogayad, Dogayad. Tell us how to pronounce it if you're watching. Dog-eared? Maybe. All right, let's check out Demon Seed.
Is it from the film?
I don't believe I've even ever seen that. I know.
What? I'm appalled. That's literally the worst thing I've ever heard.
I have fallen in your
not the
estimation.
Track. You've not seen that film. I'm really disappointed now, John. I'm sorry.
I'm going to rectify this immediately.
Tonight?
Exactly. Kids are gone to bed.
No, make them watch it.
All right.
No, don't do that. That really won't go well.
My teenage daughter is starting to get into horror movies.
Okay. Well, she'd enjoy it then.
Well, I don't know. Maybe in a couple more years. She may not. I'm not sure she'll be quite there yet. I'm glad we got a chill track now. Yeah.
Yeah. I did a track called Proteus, which is all sampled from Demon Seed, all the voice bits. It's an amazing soundtrack to the film.
Proteus. You have so many tracks, obviously. No one has heard all of them except you.
Oh no, there's people that have heard all of them.
Okay, there must be some people that are super fans that have heard every single one, yes.
Yeah, they've got all of the
What am I saying?
More than me. Yeah, this is nice.
Good contrast to the last one, right? Like,
yep.
The other one was like so hyped and energetic, and this one's like low slung and creeping through the darkness. Is that saying my mind?
It sounds like like it's some of the vocals from Demon Seed.
Oh, I see.
Possibly very affected and slowed down.
The mix is really good.
Yeah, it's a nice bit of 808. Hey, good levels. Nice reverb on the snare.
Yeah.
Love 808 backward ride cymbals.
It is a good trick. And I was going to say these are 808 sampled drums. And if you weren't sure, like the reversed cymbal is a dead giveaway.
Oh, sure. But I mean, yeah, that could just be one reverse sample. The rest of it could be a real machine. Who knows?
To be fair, yes, you're right. Max Wild is in the house. What's up?
It's nice, spooky. I'm pretty sure these are samples from the film.
Got it.
Even the pads, they may be tones from the soundtrack, slowed down and reversed and affected.
So, I like this track. I like the vibe. It's good. There's that little sort of dark chord. You hear it?
Yeah.
The stab.
Yeah.
That's
really nice.
Like kind of like the bass note in the last one that never goes away. I feel like that would be another easy way to create change or contrast. Like I would love to hear 16 bars without that or 8 bars without that, and just let the beat and the spacey stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree there.
Lots of fills, which is nice.
Yeah, it's nice 808 programming. Maybe it's even a Behringer, who knows?
Right here is what I'm talking about. This happens a lot. People will end their tracks with something that would have been great to use earlier. I do that. I'll make a whole arrangement and I'll listen to it, and at the end I'm like, yeah, why didn't I do that? And so I'll like copy and paste it earlier in a place where it works.
It would have been a nice middle section.
Good track. Nice,
I like
low
it.
slung, dark.
It's just letting the 808 be an 808, which is
that's right.
What you can't get much better than that a lot of the time, you know.
Very nice. Well done. Did anyone figure out how to properly pronounce this artist's name? Hopefully he's here, or whoever it is here. And really nice vibe.
Yeah, enjoyed that.
Definitely.
Not much I'd change on that.
Let's see. I feel like we're like about a third of a way through the tracks, and we're at almost halfway through. So we're gonna have to speed up a little bit to get through more.
Okay.
All right. Now I don't know if Goran Alavuk is here. Alavux. Are you here today? I didn't see your name. He posted like 3 times, and there was like one track and then another mix down of that track and then this one, and I picked this one, and I hope I picked the right one. Let's check out what Alavux has for us.
Nice, I like that already.
Yeah, nice sounds. Sounds like an FM bass, like a
I like the
DX.
swirly thing. It's really nice.
Yeah, right, swirly kind of effect in the back.
I like the size of the snare. It's like microscopic. Really,
I like
really
short,
tiny.
tight little snares
nice.
like that.
Works really well. That's nice. Precise.
All right, now I have a question for Alavuk or whoever who might know. Is this another artist? Zamunsky Kej? Or is that the name of the mix? So we want to clear that up. We want to make sure we're like addressing the right person. But I'm assuming, I mean, it's submitted by him, so we'll just assume it's
one of a few mixes he's done.
Anthony Rother says proper production. I would agree. Like, this is well balanced.
It does sound really good, doesn't it?
All right, this is a 7-minute track. We have to jump in.
Sure.
And we're going to, listen for anything new we haven't heard before. There's something. Definitely into listening to this kind of atmospheric, sort of almost cinematic vibes with Electro.
Yeah, I like that.
Nice. Jump in a little bit again. see what
Yeah,
happens in the break.
they're all quality sounds. Nicely put together.
It has a very
handled.
digital vibe to it. Not in a it's not warm way, but like the sound generation. It's got a little bit of that with the FM kind of bass sound. And there's kind of a graininess to some of the other sounds.
Mm.
Nice little move there. All right. Okay.
Yeah, I like that.
You know what? I am going to say one thing in terms of constructive criticism is similar to the last one, creating a bit more contrast. There's a lot of mid-rangey, swirly layers going on. And it was so nice in the beginning where it's just more sparse. And then that's nice too. There's a kind of melody. And that's nice too, but I missed this.
Droning sound.
I wanted to hear that again more. And maybe we missed it. I might have skipped over it. Who knows? But just in case that is something that would be worked on, that might be the thing. That's all. Any last thoughts for Alavux?
I agree. There could be something else that hits on a much higher octave than what's going on there. It's all a bit in the mid-range.
Right. I mean, not that there are highs. There's like shiny highs on some of these sounds, but there's not any fundamental melodic sounds that are higher, right?
Just the odd thing just to pop out and just, reach it a little bit higher. But overall, that was great. Great track.
Right. There seems to be a theme. Like we're always looking for contrast, right? And that's whether you take a sound away and create contrast or you add a sound in a different frequency range or a different type of sound, right? That's always something that can be interesting to do.
Yep.
Cool. Nice one. Let's get on to the next one. This is Radiance by Functor, who I believe is in the chat as well. Yes. Good start.
Yep.
I'm always up for some modulated delays on percussion.
Lovely hats.
Sounds like a 909. 909 closed.
Just a real nice slight up and down with the way they're moving. It's
good
really
groove
nice.
from the velocity. A little bounce, right?
The hats are super funky.
Definitely gonna get on the dance floor kind of groove.
I like this a lot so far.
Nice little sounds occasionally coming in the background. Good rolling groove.
Yes, really nicely programmed.
Creeping in, a little melody. Nice.
Yeah, very nice so far.
All right, I'm gonna break the tension here. Some nice pads. I really like the harmony happening here. Although it's an interesting. All right, now I'm gonna save that thought. I like this.
Yeah, the chords are nice. That's really nice.
Sustained bass, nice contrast there, nice change.
Yeah, all percussions drop back. It's opening up nicely there.
Definitely progression happening here.
All the way from the beginning, just subtle alterations to everything that's been going on. It's really nice.
We have to let this play. Dude,
Excellent.
you did the right thing.
Yeah, it's super nice.
Because this whole time, I was like, I like this, but where's the dance floor groove? It's going into outer space, and I love it, and it's trippy, and it's expansive. But then I'm kind of losing what I initially loved in the beginning, and you went back there, which is exactly what it needed to happen.
Yeah,
New
great.
melody? It almost sounds like a total key change.
I love those toms that keep coming in as well. That little tom fill's great.
Right? And they're not too in your face. They're just loud enough.
Yeah, oh yeah, they're super, super subtle.
I gotta say, Functor's
Yeah, it's
operating at a high level.
It's another one of my favorites of the day, this.
Carl Finlow, stamp of approval. I need to get a graphic. Cool. Nice.
This is wicked.
And the rest of it is, okay, finally in the outro. I was wondering if it was going to get back into the melody. But there's plenty to work with. Like for a DJ track, there's plenty to work with in there.
It's got everything that. It's really nice. Well
Nice.
done.
Well done, Functor.
Where are they from? Do you know?
I don't recall. Feel free, Functor, to shout out your location. And yeah, nice track. Really good.
Yeah, really nice.
I'm thinking like, constructive criticism for this one. It would only be some DJs don't like playing tracks with long, chill, expansive breaks in them. Some electro, this is just thinking functionally, like as a, for dance music on a dance floor, like it's just a stylistic choice. Whether you want like a progressive arrangement that has a big break and it goes that far, or if you just want beats the whole time, right? So
Just play 2 copies of it and get rid of the middle bit.
Make the DJ do the work. But if you're inclined, like a more beat-oriented edit of this as like a bonus on a release would probably be nice. But totally up to you as the artist whether you want that to be a part of your thing, right? But that's not a criticism. That's just make a less musical edit of it if you want. Cool.
Great,
nice
great
one.
track though.
Let's keep moving. Let's get through these tracks. Dreams of Electric Sheep.
My boy
What is he
boss.
talking about? I've never heard of that. Boy Boss. Okay. Functor is in Finland.
Oh, right. Okay. That explains a lot. I'm joking.
No,
the Finns are great.
There are some really great producers from Finland.
sure are.
And maybe Functor knows them and hangs out with them. Who knows? This is nice. A little different.
Yeah.
It's less like your typical electro future robot vibes. The rhythm is there, right?
Yep. I like it so far. A weird little change. That chord change is really interesting.
I'm attracted to that kind of like making music that's electro or electro influenced that breaks the typical melodic things that people do. I find very interesting.
Yeah, it does something really odd there. That, like, third chord that it reaches to is really interesting.
We need one of these like music theory YouTuber nerds to break down a theory for us. It's funny. Some people might think that was a mistake. I don't. I like it. It's like an electric piano or something.
Yeah, that is there, isn't it? It's like a Rhodes.
And like the drums and the bass line keep it in the electro world, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a nice vibe.
I think I wouldn't
Less
mind
clubby.
a little.
It's
Say again?
more. It's not Not so much on the club vibe. It's more home listening to me. This.
Or like warming up. After hours. It's like beach electro. How about that? Tropical beach electro. No, I'm just kidding. It's not. I was reaching. All right. All right, let's see what else this does. Okay, we have some sort of wandering melodic section here. It's definitely, in order to really get this, we'd have to listen to it uninterrupted because there's a lot of stuff going on in the arrangement. I'm going to go ahead and say, like, as much as I like the vibe of this, kind of dreamy and floaty, but like more of sections without the floaty pad, probably. For the contrast, again, that's the word of the day for me.
Yep.
And then the bass sound, if it was just a little brighter, sharper, like a little more mids, or even like, I don't know, like I don't know what synth that is. If it almost sounds similar to that kind of FM plucky bass that we heard before, but a little more filter, a little more high and mids.
Another one doing exactly the same part, but a slightly more aggressive, more analog synth, brighter on the frequency, just to pop it out a little bit more.
Then I think, that would, like, if you're writing this line of like it's electro but a little bit different, like adding a bit of edge to balance the dreaminess and nice floaty chords that you've got going on.
But nice track. Lots of dynamics in there as well. You can see just on the waveform itself. Right. There's
and this track tells a story.
Not flattened.
Absolutely,
it's nice.
Nice work, boy boss. Let's see, what do we got next? Descent by Shedbug.
Here comes the bass.
Very. Trying to think of the words to describe that bass line that's coming in. Sort of liquidy, bubbly kind of. I don't know.
Yeah, the whole thing's quite loose, isn't it, so far?
I like what's happening with that higher melody.
The drums are very set back.
Right. I like what's happening in the mid-range synths. That's making it work right now.
Growling away.
All right, let's jump in a little bit. Oh, wait. I want to hear how he gets there. Huh. A little reverse. I like the idea of this. Giving us a release of tension.
I'd have let that last section go again another time before bringing the string in.
I see what you mean. So there's something to be worked on in that transition, for sure. Let's see where we go.
Yeah, there's not much let up with the string.
The string could probably go away. Again, I like this lead. Da, 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 right?
Yeah, the strings kind of burying a lot of what's going on.
There's that hard to describe sound, brighter. Is that a bird? I just heard something like a bird sound.
Yeah, should have done more of this.
Yeah, more of this.
It's a nice track. It needs I don't know whether it's the volumes that you've got it playing at. It needs, because it looks loud on the waveform there. It needs.
It's pretty loud right now compared to what we started.
I think the strings and the upper arpeggio are too loud in it for me.
I think the mix in general.
The drums and the mid sort of growly synths are not getting a chance to do their thing as much, which is a shame in a way.
And then there's some low end in the bass sound, and there you've got your long 808 kick, and that's always the thing to think about is like, how do you mix a boomy 808 with other low frequency sounds? That it's not always a problem, but it can be, and you got to you might got to decide, what do you want to accentuate. In this case, I feel like I like the boom of the 808. I'd rather, I think that the bassy sound that you're using would be better with like a high pass filter, or just to reduce some low frequency so it gets out of the way of the 808 kick. And then it's going to be cleaner in the mix if it's a little more mids and highs rather than trying to be a bass sound, because the most interesting thing about that sound is the mids and highs. And then the drums could be louder. And
I think you'd just get more of a chance to hear everything if that string was not there as much, because that really just like puts a veil over everything, the string. It's a nice track though. I do like that. It would just need a bit more work on the mix for me. Sorry.
Agreed. Cool. Let's move on. The next one we have. This is a Dropbox link. This is okay. I'm just switching over to the Discord so I make sure I know whose track this is. Luminous Cloud submission here from via his Dropbox. And the track is called Non 2, I think. Kind of weird, dark, twisted vibe going on right now. It's interesting.
Yeah.
I like the bass.
Yeah, it's nice so far. Mysterious.
I lost the downbeat.
Right.
That was not where I thought the snare was going to be.
I was right on it.
Of course you were.
Yeah. Before it even started, I was on it.
There's so much electro that does this minor, diminished thing. It's hard to do something unique. That's what you hear, this very similar melodies over and over again in many different electro tracks. That's not a knock. That's just a stylistic choice, right? This one I feel like is able to do that vibe, but it's not. It's atypical somehow.
Well, it's discordant, isn't it? That kind of vibe with those.
Say again?
Harmonic. It's discordant. That kind of change is discordant, and that's what works well with robotic electronic music. It adds an extra level of sort of weirdness to it.
Right.
The two seem to go hand in hand,
Even like it's got now a pad going up and down chromatically, just like the last one, but it didn't take over.
It's really pushed back and subtle,
and very wide,
and it's gone again,
Hey, Jason Shostak, my good friend BPMF, is in the chat. Serotonin Records represent.
I like the snare.
Got a pitch to it. Ooh.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Unusual,
it is unusual, but it's not losing me unusual. It's like keeping my interest, and it's got a good groove. I'm not sure that this is a dance floor killer though. Maybe if you
I'd
feel
dance this.
Like you would, yes, I would. Yeah. But it's like for a more general audience, it would be a challenging record. I would feel like some like depends on the DJ and how you're mixing it. Like Stingray could get away with this for sure because he knows how to do it. But like this would be. This is an atypical groove somehow, as electro as it is.
It reminds me of some of the Scarletron stuff that me and Daz Quayle did. It's got that kind of vibe to it.
All right. I think we got through most of it.
Yeah. Good track. I like it. It's interesting. It's a nice balance for sounds. The mix is well handled, I think.
Mm-hmm. It's very bright and compressed, but it doesn't sound like it was squashed too much either. So
everything's got its own space. Nothing's fighting with everything else.
Luminous Cloud says it's a small room music. Okay. Small room. Good stuff. Very good. Let's move along. And now we have...
Das Product.
I know, that's not electro sounding at all. Das Product.
Electro-Technik.
Yes.
Okay.
Oops. Making sure the volume's good here. Back to basics here. Very pure electro.
Yep.
Transformieren.
Okay.
Noch eigenständig reparieren.
Very nice.
Mein Korpus ist aus reinem Stahl. Die Qualität phänomenal.
Excellent vocoder sound.
Oh yeah.
Really nicely handled.
Der sich hierdurch zeigt. Mein Stahlgewand zerstört nie rosten.
Not afraid for it to be right on top.
Could someone translate this for us?
Anthony, come on.
Oh yeah. I mean, this is really good. It's like nail on the head, right?
Yeah,
for this style of electro.
Yeah.
Kraftwerk. It's like Kraftwerk to Anthony Rother, like one straight line.
That's excellent.
Yep. Really good mix. I like that the hi-hats are not too loud. They're sort of back from the snare and the kick. I've been trying to do that more lately myself.
That's excellent. The kick is a really good weight, good level. Snare's just right. Melodies are great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it ticks all the boxes.
Ticks all the boxes. Now, you could, if I were to be hyper critical, that could be a criticism that it's ticking all of the boxes. It's a fine line.
Well, it is what it is. I mean,
yeah.
It's not trying to be anything other than this, is it?
That musical change right there was great, by the way.
This is a particular style that some people adore, and that's what it's doing, and it's doing it really well.
Exactly. Chord changes, awesome. Nice little pitch rise on the percussion right there. I mean, there's some nice little details. I mean, I think that's what makes it. Like, even though this is electro by numbers, like it's classic and modern at the same time, just the execution is
Yeah, it's really well
perfect.
handled. Yeah,
And then it's got all the little modern details, right? The subtleties that you can get out of working in a DAW and being super precise with your sounds.
the mix is great. All
Yep.
really good levels. They're not afraid of the melody either, you know.
Right.
It's there. There's the melody. That's the melody, you know. Somebody who's confident with melody.
Here's a funny comment. Jan says, missing a cowbell? I don't know. I don't hear too many cowbells in this kind of... I mean, sometimes.
Just one giant one at the end
Right.
with a 30-second reverb.
All right. I hate to stop, but we have to.
Yeah.
We
it's
were
done
enjoying
its-
that, right?
yeah,
I just wanted to listen to the end, but
Yeah.
I
it's
had
done
to
its
stop
thing
it
there.
because we're going to run out of time if we don't
It-
move
it
along. So
could-
yes.
It could lose a bit, if I'm being brutally honest. It's done its done its thing. You could chop a bit out of that, and it'd still be excellent.
Right. You mean end it sooner or get to the point sooner?
Lose 8 here, 8 there,
Yeah.
another 8 somewhere else. It could easily do that and still be as good, you know.
Well, and like, always we could say it could have more contrast. Like you could have a part where it's just the drums and the bass and the voice. And I know it does that, but like even more stripped down maybe.
Yeah.
Like, okay. That could help it fill out the 5-something minutes that it is.
Yep.
All right. But otherwise, wow.
Great job.
Great.
Excellent.
Thank
Well
you,
done.
Das Product. Let's move along to Once in a Lifetime by Flav. Another newer electro attempt, I believe. Looks like a happy, smiley guy here.
Yeah.
Another flavor of electro compared to the last thing for sure.
Isn't that what's great about electro, though?
Yeah. It is. I mean, same with techno, same with house, same with everything. But yes. In particular, I love electro for these reasons. Oh, vocoder.
That's nice. I'm glad it didn't stay on that one note all the way through.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. It's working better because it's not droning on one note. I don't know if I needed that open hi-hat on this. I like it, at least maybe lower in the mix.
Yeah, back it off a bit. The hats in general are a bit loud.
Yeah, they're a bit loud. So the production style on this is... I'm going to say this is another hybrid of electro and other styles. Synths are really loud.
Yeah, it was a build-up though.
Yeah.
I imagine on a big system it'd sound
Oh, sure.
pretty wicked.
Okay, I'm going to switch over into some critical comments. I kind of wish the lead melody didn't just only follow the bass exactly, that if it had some other movement and had its own identity as a melody. Right after that break, it could have gone back to being drony to create a contrast with the variation, melodic variation. It's almost like progressive-y electro, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's very... It's a bit ravey, right?
Yeah.
Not that that's bad. And it reminds me of like, there's a lot of electro and breaks from the US that has a vibe like this, going back to the 90s as well. Like your flute stuff from Florida and the Southeast and Texas. Back then, there was like this rave scene, and they'd play breaks in electro and have big acid lines and trancy lines on top of electro beats. It reminds me of that a little bit.
Okay.
All right, we'll hit the build up and then we'll move along.
It's very reverby. The whole
lot of
thing.
reverb, right? Maybe a little too much reverb on everything.
I mean, you know, it's clearly going for a kind of big warehouse thing.
See if we get a payoff. Okay. Close. This is well done. I think I'm just going to pause there. I know there's more to it, but we're already at the, oh my gosh, 1:27 Eastern Daylight Time. So yeah, this is it's like electro, maybe electro breaks. I might even put this in the category of.
I wouldn't know about that.
Yeah, and there's like, I mean, these are subtle stylistic differences. Yes, it's electro, but there's other stuff going on. Yeah, lots of. I would tone down the reverb a little bit, be more selective about it. Like, if you only put reverb on the part where you want it to be sort of bigger, and then you take the reverb away and have it more driving and tight, that'll help with the contrast.
It's not my cup of tea, I'll have to be honest. That type of big reverbed build-ups and snare fills and that type of thing.
And I make techno as well, and I've made some kind of big ravey tracks, and I tend to not do this sort of thing that he's doing this track in electro myself. I like it better with techno and ravey pumping kick drum kind of music rather than electro. I like to keep it more a different kind of arrangement, basically, most of the time. Not that I've never done a build up. Jeez. All right. Let's keep. All right. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 11. I don't know if we can get through 11 in 30 minutes.
Let's go, man. Let's go.
Let's just go faster. All right. Here we have DJ Ostap, Hispanis Stereo. So this is a Stereo Decor, and this is Stereo Decor's remix of DJ Ostap Hispanis, which I guess is an official release. It's on Beatport and on Spotify. Let's check it out. I'm just going to start skipping to make sure we get through. I think we're still in a ravey breaky world with this. One of the big differences is there's less space in this music. All of the holes are filled up. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Last one too. Like it's all happening.
There's lots of 16th elements all going at the same time.
Yeah. It's very busy.
Yeah. And the busy things have reverb as well and delay, so it's all quite cloudy in a way.
Sure. Good melodies. Heavy syncopation, right? And it's got this rolling, breaky kind of vibe, for sure.
The kick is
trancy. Good. What was that you were going to say?
I said the kick is good. It has a good weighty kick.
It's big.
Cuts through.
All right, we're leading into another break. I mean, I think this just goes to show how strong of an influence electro is. This isn't exactly, it's not pure electro for people who are really into electro. It has electro elements, and it's very good. I'm glad they didn't do the full-on snare drum build-up. It was a little more playful and syncopated. It could use, I think, as good as this is for this style, it's so busy all the time. And it's like lots of reverb, lots of effects, lots of compression and saturation and everything, and very little space. So like, I think dialing it down a little bit.
But that's what that style is, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, it's that side of something you love or you hate.
I've also heard tracks in this style that do have more space and more contrast. So you can do both. You can have this kind of hybrid breaks, electro, trance, whatever kind of vibe that's happening.
It looks like it breaks down a bit on the end there. I can see some gaps. Maybe things drop out and it goes a bit...
Yeah, I like this when there's less going on.
Yeah.
So maybe a little bit more distinction between sections, like having a more broken down, stripped down rhythmic section, and then
because it's kind of the bulk of it is just like a wall of arpeggios and 16th notes and stuff, you know.
Got it. Okay. Next, we got "Let's Go To" by Ignacio. Another slower one. Let's skip in a little bit. It's pretty typical. Like we start out these feedback sessions with such good intentions and listening to the whole tracks and getting into the details, and then we run out of time.
Yeah, hour and a half gone already. That's
I know.
crazy.
It's amazing. Time flies.
Sounds quite quiet on this end.
I can bring it up a little. Oh, that's right. I turned down the other one while we were talking because it was a bit intense. That was a nice sound. That's my favorite sound in this. I like making sounds like that. See, now this one's also busy. It's definitely more electro vibes, more mechanic, more futuristic sci-fi. It's still a lot of sound at once. It's better balanced in the mix, though. Very
it's
good
just
mix
one
sound.
arpeggio, though, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, each element has its place.
Yeah, you can still hear all the other things, even with that going. Sometimes less is more, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Let's jump into this
The kick
middle
drum,
section.
the kick drum is quite weak,
Yeah.
I think. The snare cuts through nicely, but
A little more knock.
yeah, the kick drum is not there, is it?
I mean, there's a thump, but it doesn't cut through. I would say maybe, that could just mixing-wise be a little transient shaping, like just a little extra pop.
I just don't hear any low end at all on the kick there.
Oh, it could be the internet audio being funny. There is some, but it isn't deep, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's probably, it could be brought out in the mix a little bit more. Otherwise, though, nice track. Sorry that we're not listening through more of it.
It's a decent track, that.
And it definitely, looks like it goes with this picture. Okay. Sorry. All right. We've got Algorithm by Roombot.
Nice start.
Mm-hmm. And we're back in clean and tight electro world now.
So where's the bass drum?
There
we go.
It's a common question, like how do I balance my kick and my low bass? And I'm like, well, make the kick short and punchy with less sub, and then you'll have space for your deep bass line or your other deeper kick underneath it. So that's what's happening here. Filtery chord sweeps are nice. Good contrast, taking the pad away, taking the chords away.
Nice and
Jump in a
minimal
little
at this
bit.
point.
Yeah. Snare drum rolls, but fills, but fast and glitchy ones, which are nice.
The hats have got some nice little trills going on as well.
Right.
Nice.
I like this part.
I like the little weird.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's good.
It was a nice surprise. I wasn't expecting that.
I like the
Is it saying
arpeggio.
whoa, yeah? This is good.
The arpeggio is really nice as well.
I would say to work on would be sort of mix and EQ stuff. It could be better separation between things. Like the mids and the lows are a little muddy. How to fix that though? We'd have to look at see what's happening to these sounds. But what do you think, Carl? As far as the balance of the mix?
I don't mind so much the general balance. It's just a little bit of tweaking here and there.
But probably EQ mainly, I would think. I feel like there's some resonances that are kind of building up, and it's making it sort of more whoo sounding in the lows rather than more clean and deep.
I do very little EQ. It's all about levels with me.
Okay, right. But okay, I'm going to pause there because that's you. It's the sounds you're choosing to start with.
Yeah.
Right.
If the sounds are right in the first place, then you're automatically not having to battle with EQ.
Yeah. So if you pick
it's
sounds
just about the levels
and in different frequency ranges, so they're not fighting each other and they're not crazy resonant or whatever, and you're not putting effects on them that are so extreme that it's causing problems. Yeah. I mean, what you're able to do that, it comes from experience of doing this for so long. Right, it's probably a little easier for you to start with a mix that doesn't need so much.
Yeah. if the ingredients are right,
the cake tastes great.
You're off to a good start straight away. Really, there's just not a battle that you have to deal with as well as everything else.
Cool. All right, thanks, Roombot.
Nice track though. I like that one.
And then let's see. All right, this is another Alavix mix.
Sorry, just go back to that. That dude had some amazing headphones on there. I didn't really look at those. Wow, those are radical.
Wow, they look more like hearing protection, but no, it's like a radio strapped to his head.
Oh yeah.
We'll come back to that.
Right.
All right, so we've got January 6234 number 2 authorized signature. Let's check it out.
All right. I like the randomness of the image as well, just people going across the road there.
That's the vibe. They've got it under alternative rock on
Right.
That's got to be a joke.
Wow, how short is this?
It's 1.5 minutes or so, which is great for the amount of time we have left.
It's nice so far. It reminds me of Depeche Mode.
Yeah, it's got a bit of a new wave vibe. Synthwave nowadays. So, I mean, this one's almost over already. I feel like
Yeah.
this is just, they just started working on it.
Yeah, the kick is too muddy. It needs a bit more definition on the kick there. But I like what there is there.
Yeah,
short
I
as
would
it is.
love to hear this developed further.
Yeah, a bit more polish on the
And
fine
some-
detail on the.
Exactly, and then some variation in the melody, perhaps. There's a tiny bit of call and response between the two synth sounds. That's nice. I mean,
Yeah.
Oops, why is it playing again? Okay, that was weird. That was, a good start. I wonder if this is someone who's just new to it and hasn't quite complete. It's like you start, you have an incomplete thought. It's a sketch. You're not sure where to go with it.
Yeah, if that's a sketch, it's a nice sketch. It's a nice
Definitely
vibe.
good vibe. And then
Work on
you
the
just,
production a bit more.
if it's in the DAW, I would just say take what you did and double it, like just copy and paste it and repeat it for twice as long, and then go back and figure out where you could remove. Like maybe the intro could be longer. Maybe think of some ways to create contrast, and then think of another element to contrast. Contrast. I keep saying it over and over again. But another melodic element, maybe a bass variation. I mean, there's
Sections
no
with
bass
no
line
bass.
really.
Sections with no bass.
Sections with no bass, but there isn't even really a bass line in this. It's just pads and
just
kick.
It's like a bass
So-
drone.
There's definitely, like, if you had sort of a mid-rangey, percussive, plucky kind of a bass, that could work.
Yep,
Or just
I agree.
or a drone sub kind of bass, that would work too, if it's not too muddy with the kick drum. Anyway, very
And a
nice.
Vocal. Try vocal over that. Go full Depeche Mode. It'd sound great.
Cool. A vocal would work. Even a vocoder. Let's move on to, this one. I obviously can't read the characters. Saibonetiku Shisutemu. All right, I'm sure I butchered that. This is Aaron Hedges.
Good start. Straight in.
Heavy. Right into it. I like it. Let's jump in a little bit.
It sounds Japanese. I don't know why.
Very good production.
Yep.
There's a lot of compression, but it doesn't sound like it's knocking things out of whack.
I like the levels. I like the way that. I like the distance on that pad
Yeah.
coming in and out. I like the hi-hat pattern too, opening and closing.
Yeah, I like how it's sort of like waving up and down.
Yep.
It's a nice vibe. I mean, I think that's modulation on one sound pretty much.
Yeah. Good kick.
Yeah.
Really nice balance of everything overall.
It's interesting, like, we were listening to some other tracks that have these long, sustained, mid-rangey sounds, and it sounded like it was too much. This one, somehow, it doesn't sound like it's too much. What's the difference? Just the way that it's mixed, the balance of frequencies.
I don't know whether there's a kind of ducking going on with the compressor, just
Could be.
slightly, so it's giving it more space. It's just jumping in and out of the gaps more, rather than just
Yeah.
being there, flat on top of everything.
Let's move in a little bit. I'm glad to have the contrast of a section without the reverby big pads, but they're coming back, I think. Or no, this is a break. Interesting. Little glitchy effects going on in the background. Let's hear how it comes back in.
Yeah, it's a nice break.
Different.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that. I was kind of expecting it to go back to that.
Yeah. Oh, it works.
It works, but I kind of wish it was more straight ahead. And I don't know. I'm divided on this one. Let's see if it goes back. There it is. I like both sections, but I feel like this bass part works better than the other
Better
one.
than the other one, yeah. Well, that other one was only in there for that kind of middle section, wasn't it? Really?
Right here, yeah. But that's it's a crucial part here. Like you're creating so much tension by having everything almost go away that when it comes back, I feel like it really needs to be. Like I'd rather it go back to this and then do this variation somewhere in the middle.
That's possible.
Yeah, something like that. Otherwise, really nice sounds.
Yeah, nice.
Interesting ideas.
Yeah.
I like the vocals. I like the processing and the effects and everything.
There's a kind of Japanese aesthetic to it.
Sure.
It's nice.
Let's move along to Seltsame Schleifen. Manual
If you say
Globe.
so.
Excuse me?
If
What
you
did you
say
so?
so.
Oh, heavy. That kick drum's really breaking up into some distortion.
Can you turn it up a bit?
Yeah, one second. Better?
Yeah.
Interesting. Sounds like something electronic is trying to talk to me. It's trying to tell me something. It's very nervous.
I like the pad hovering.
Right. That was weird.
I like this. It's an unusual vibe, but it's just hanging there. It's nice.
It did this crazy shift with the rhythm. The syncopation was like disorienting for a moment. It took a second to get back into it. Okay. I mean, interesting ideas going on here. Maybe it's a tad disjointed from one section to the other. I points for like
that.
pushing boundaries.
I like that about it.
Yeah. The kind of halftime section is cool. That melody and the bass that's coming in is a bit, I don't know. It's cool, but it's also they're fighting each other a little bit at the same time. There's a lot of tension in this track.
That's what I'm liking about it.
Huh. I really appreciate that something new is being tried here. It's not just repeating the same old electro. It's doing something different. Hey, Jason, BPMF. This sounds more like a weird serotonin record in a way, because we tend to put out weird stuff like this when we put out stuff. Gonna jump in a little bit. I like it. I like these ideas.
It's quite abstract.
Very. I think I like this part with the atmospheric kind of stuff. Balances out the eclectic syncopation of the drums nicely. When it's a bit more hypnotic, it kind of ties it together. Interesting.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I like that.
Cool.
Doing something different.
As we rush through the final few,
well
we're
done.
almost
I like
there.
that one.
Yeah, I like it as well. Nice work, Manuel. We've heard from him before. All right. Very unique original name here. Electro for 343 Labs Final from Monomit. got some character. As much as I love 808 style drums for electro, I really also like it when you can make an electro track with different drum sounds, right? Like sampled sounds or just weird combinations of sounds. It helps it be electro, but then be a little bit more unique and personal.
I've been using that emergent drums with the AI. Thing.
Right.
We'll talk about that in the future, though.
Yeah, I did. I used it a little bit on a stream once, but I want to look at it again because I think it's been improved since I looked at it.
I'm using it all the time now.
I would. Hey, if you want to come back and show us how you use emergent drums, I'd love that.
Yeah. Well, we've got another show lined up, haven't we?
Of course. Next week. Maybe not. We'll have to. I'll email you.
Yeah.
All right. I like this vibe. It's very. Again, I like to use the word low slung for stuff like this. It's kind of energetic, creeping along, getting acid now. That's cool. A little 303 sound coming in. I mean, it's.
I'd like to hear a bit more oomph in the kick.
Yeah, it's very tight. Interesting. A bit of a bigger kick would be nice, especially right there. If it had added like a little more sub and a little bit more thickness, that would have been great. I like the vibe in general, though.
It's a nice vibe, isn't it? It's tight.
Tight, hypnotic, a little trippy. Getting a little more mid-range in there now in the synth, a little brighter.
It's very minimal, though.
Yeah.
Not saying that's a bad thing.
No, I mean, that could be just what the dance floor wants, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be lots of stuff going on all the time. Let's see how he gets out of this break. Ooh. I like that little weird vocal sample, whatever that is. Wait, sorry, I talked over it. I want to hear it again. No idea what that's saying. That could be louder.
Really well.
I wouldn't mind if that just jumped out of the speakers and had a little brighter. Yeah. All right,
It's
I like
just a bit undefined with the kick.
Yeah.
I really like the rest of it, but I'm not sure what the kick's doing.
It's only just this tight little transient. I want more thump, maybe. But not a lot. Just enough. That's cool.
Yeah, it's a great track.
It's cool. It's unique. That little kind of same as the intro. This is cool. I think you're onto something. I mean, a little more polish. This is the kind of thing, like, we might say we listen to this, the kick drum isn't enough, but we haven't heard this on a club system. It could be just right. It's hard to tell.
True. So,
but yeah, I agree, though. A little more thump in that kick.
That one. Yep.
Yeah, nice, unique vibe going on. All right, now this is from some people we know. Pretension All-Stars. Who are these guys?
There's some names in this one.
Yeah, tell us the names.
Well, John Paul Bondi, Justin Maxwell, and John. My mind's gone blank now. From Bass Kitten.
They're all here, by the way.
Yeah,
they're all in the
Jeff
chat.
Taylor. Forgive me, John, for forgetting your surname there. But this is like royalty here in this track.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, check this out. I love this.
That's great. I'm pretty sure that's not how they look now.
Well, that's got to be like a Mid-Journey or some like AI generated image.
Life
of
on the West Coast with all that sun. I'm not sure.
Is this like geriatric electro DJs? Is that what like the AI generates?
Let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. I want to hear it before the time goes.
Yeah, we're gonna check it out right now. Ooh, right off the bat. Whoa. I have to turn it down. Bass Kitten says, no, that's a real photo we were looking at. Yeah.
Druckmann, John Druckmann. Forgive me for not getting your surname there.
Lots of sub bass, really trippy.
Yeah, it's a beautiful sci-fi landscape. Every sound is just top notch.
I like that part.
Super nice.
It's pretty bonkers, man.
Yeah.
It's like dizzy.
It's like really arcadey as well. It's great.
Yeah. Definitely halftime feel with with that low bass note hitting every
Love that
two
bass.
beats.
That bass bend is beautiful.
That bass hit with the pitch bend on it that comes in
Yeah.
every now and then. That's
It's
like
killer.
I think that's my favorite sound.
There's a little 303 that keeps biting in as well. It just yap,
Yeah.
and then it's gone.
All right, so we got to jump in. Acid. This has got the kitchen sink in it.
Lovely, lovely EQ.
Crazy bandwidth limited 303. Like,
Yeah, this is wicked. I wouldn't expect anything less.
you guys are crazy. A bunch of old crazy electro guys. I think.
Also, one of my favorites of the day.
Yeah, cool.
Top notch.
Thanks for submitting that. That was fun. And we know you know what you're doing.
Yeah. Goes without saying.
All right. It's 1:58. We have two more. We can get through two more, right? It's okay if we do like 2:05 or something. All right, let's check out Us Alien Labs by Shikabala.
I like the bass.
Yeah. Boom, 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 boom. Honestly, I think that sounds like something you would do.
Yeah, maybe.
Building up tension.
I like the space in it.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if the bass is going to fill up more or stay minimal like
or
that.
is there going to be an answer? It's calling. Is there an answer?
Yeah, it's definitely calling out, isn't it? I like this so far.
Maybe it never is going to get an answer. I like that there's some other chords fading into the background.
Yeah, very, very subtle.
Yeah.
The bass is gone. It's great.
Yeah.
The squeaky arpeggio thing is great as well.
I'm just going to let it play. I want to hear what happens. That's nice. New element coming in. We're going to jump in a little bit.
Has the kick changed?
I think it's busier here. There's a couple extra hits.
I thought it was tonally different.
No, it's the same.
Okay.
So it's funny how something goes away and then it comes back and you go, is that different? But it just feels different because it.
Yeah, that's very nice. That I like that.
I want a little more though.
Yeah, it could have had a few more responses to things going on.
I mean, there's you could think of it as conceptually like it could be on purpose that it's like that to generate that feeling of emptiness.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Oh, I'm sad. There's no one's answering me. But like
definitely.
A little drop of
anticipate.
satisfaction just once would be like, whoa, if it was just the right thing. But anyway, otherwise, awesome vibe, new cool sound,
excellent.
sounds
like
unique. And as we rush through to the guy with the crazy headphones and the really perfectly trimmed mustache, this is Ectolaz 70% by Sig Ent. Pleasant. This is kind of a nice, relaxing way to end, isn't it?
Yeah. But there's not been too many like super aggressive ones. I don't.
No.
I thought there might be a few more, in your face sort of bangers.
Well, the other track that Alavux submitted was quite significantly heavier. Maybe I should have picked that one instead. It's nice. I'm getting like early 90s chill electro, slightly IDM vibe, right?
Yeah, I'd agree that.
I like the little buzzy flanger thing that's kind of sneaking in. I like it that it's as pleasant and moody and deep as it is to have a couple of little more aggressive sounds, noisy sounds, makes it gives it a better balance in a way. And the slightly out of tune, bendy, flippy melody that's on top now is kind of nice.
Yeah, it has a nice atmosphere.
But now what? I'm waiting to hear, like, how does it change? Like, all right.
If I'd change one thing, it would be the kick sound.
Oh, yeah? What would you do?
Not that.
Not that.
It works, but it's more... It's almost like a 909 kick, that, to me.
It is.
I'd like to have heard something a bit different.
Okay.
But as you know, I'm nitpicking. It's a nice track. It's it's got a nice
no
vibe
doubt about
to
it. The bass sound is there's something to be said for a simple bass sound. It doesn't always have to be complex and crazy modulation or whatever, but like a little more defined, a little more of a transient, a little brighter maybe.
Yeah, it's got that old sort of warp vibe, hasn't it?
Yeah. Artificial intelligence.
Yeah. I've been looking at getting old Alesis MIDI verbs, and I'm trying to buy one of those at the moment. Like a MIDI verb 3 or a quad verb. Trying to get that kind of reverb sound from that time.
We made it.
But no, that's a nice track, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had some great tracks there.
Soft landing.
That was enjoyable. Like I said, I don't listen to music. I hardly ever. So it's been a really nice experience for me, listening to all these different types of electro, different moods, different things people have been doing. So well done to everyone who's supplied tracks. Some excellent work there.
Definitely. Thanks, everyone. I mean, who submitted. There were a few that I didn't include. I will get back to you in the channel. This usually happens. There were a couple of submissions that weren't precisely electro enough. Like, I picked a couple that were sort of crossover on purpose, but But no worries. Like, I'll get back to you guys. So thanks to all of you who submitted in the Discord channel. Thanks to everybody who's been watching today and hanging out and listening with us. Everybody in the chat, you guys have really had a good discussion going on. Lots of nice comments. I know I wasn't keeping an eye on the chat as much today, but you guys have been taking care of yourselves for the most part. Really nice to have some friends in here today. Thanks again to Anthony for stopping by. Those old geriatric guys that we listened to. Oh my God. What was that project name again? I'm totally like blanking out.
Prescription All Stars.
Yeah, that's right. And then
Pretension.
Pretension All Stars.
Prescription All Stars.
Exactly.
Pretension All Stars. Yeah, it's great.
And then I'm really happy to see a lot of regular viewers and members of the chat contributing their work. Really good stuff that I'm hearing. And we'd love to have you back, Carl, for a different type of presentation. You mentioned that plugin. If you wanted to go over that sometime, we can talk about that.
Oh, sure. We can nerd out over gear anytime, man.
Anytime, absolutely.
Definitely do that. And it was a pleasure to be here today. Thanks for inviting me, John. Really enjoyed
you're welcome.
it. Let's hook up and do it again.
Absolutely. So thanks, everyone. We'll see you next time. Adios.
Thanks, everyone.